Good evening. We ask the viewer to imagine a dark, dank, dungeon-like jail cell where Dr. Bratwurst-Heider and Detective Malone are currently being held. Malone on suspicion of being a so-called Livingston man. The doctor brought up on charges of aiding and abetting a fugitive. In our last episode, we had help from Mike from Hudson Valley Prepping and Survival, who has been disappeared, taken away. We don't even know what happened to him. We're stuck in a box. I take you now to an interesting audio recording that was leaked to me by Junior Detective Edwards, acting head Detective Edwards, coincidentally, considering he has now put his boss in a jail cell. I could point at some transparency and corruption issues with the Livingston Police Department, Junior Detective Edwards, but it's my job to report the facts as they're given to me, and considering that he leaked this audio, I guess he intends to prove some kind of case or something, or at least give us an update, proof of life at any rate, if you will. So without any further ado, I guess I'll just get to the tape. I haven't even listened to it myself, but if you ever heard Malone and the Doctor talk to each other, it's always an interesting time. So let's just try it.
The Livingston man, a hero in disguise. His legacy will echo through the skies. Forever remembered for his deeds so grand. The Livingston man, the savior of the land. His legacy will echo through the skies, forever remembered for his deeds so grand. The Livingston man, the savior of the land. The Livingston man, a hero in disguise. His legacy will echo through the skies, forever remembered for his deeds so grand. The Livingston man, the savior of the land.
Hey Malone, we got your new cellmate. Give me the door. Hey Doc, it's you. I can't believe it. Look at this. I can't believe they put you on. You forgot to let me out of here. You cannot put me in here with him. Oh, come on, Doc. What's the matter? Listen, maybe there's no bad blood between me and you, but maybe you got bad blood, in you, but that's fine. See how he is. God, you must let me out of here. You cannot leave me in here with him. Anyway, you turkeys have a good evening. What do you say, Doc? Huh? What do you say? We're in here together now, huh? Malone, I am not very happy with the way this situation has turned out. We were supposed to escape, and then you have turned us into the very police department that was hunting you. Now we are stuck in that jail. Yeah, but I got an idea. See, Edwards has all these cameras and microphones around and stuff, so what I think is that what he's probably going to do is listen to us talking. He's going to put it on a stupid Grinder feed or whatever he's got there, his little YouTube channel where he does the thing, acts he's like more important than he really is. But you know what? And all he's going to do is going to farm us for content. So what we'll do, Doc, is we're going to give it to him. I am not understanding your logic, and I never will. I feel like you and I, Doc, we belong here together, Hey, Doc, you want to tell me something I don't know. It's what I wanted to do. I thought about this. If I ever got a cellmate, I was going to ask him, right, when they walked in, I was going to make them pass a test, right? I was going to say, hey, why don't you tell me something I don't know? So, Doc, hey, tell me something I don't know. 2 + 2 = 4. Doc, you always were biting with the humor. All right, have a seat over there. Why don't you sit there and look? I can't believe they let you have that turtleneck in here. Do you ever take that thing off? Does that grow off you? Is that your chest hair that you have simply shaved into the shape of a turtleneck shirt? Doc, Don't speak to me anymore. I'm definitely going to speak to you, Doc. There's only two of us here. Hey, Doc, I've been reading books, okay? You can read, Malone? It's fascinating. This was not something on my list. Yeah, I can read, Doc, and in fact, I can make the story go even deeper than that. You think you know nothing, Doc, okay? You know nothing. Now listen to me. I was doing some reading, okay? I was doing some research, okay? Like you university types do, but just without the stupid turtleneck and them stupid glasses you wear. You know, anybody tell you just look weird? Anybody ever say that to you? No? I think they did. Stop talking to me. Listen, I've been reading this about these weird psychological experiments these do to people, Doc, okay? Hey, I thought this would be up your alley. I thought you was into this kind of thing. You're Mr. Brain Bender over here, you know, Castle Wolfenstein looking dude, you know, it's what you do, right? That's not what I do, Malone. I'm a doctor. I help people. Whatever, you know, yeah, he helps people. It's Mr. Helps People over here. He's very helpful. Especially with that turtleneck. So, Doc, listen to me. I tell you ever heard of something? It's called a black bag? Huh? Yeah, that's why they made me wear one once they brought me to this facility. Yeah, I had one too. I kept spitting all over the place, talking, and they mistook it for aggression. So they was like, we're going to have to bag them. And I was like, all right, fine. First good night's sleep I got in a long time wearing that bag. You know, it doesn't let any light through. It's very nice. Not the kind of bag I'm talking about, Doc. It's a different kind of black bag. They say that you're smoking here? Yeah, I made like a big ruckus about it, and I just kind of wouldn't shut up, so they just like they give me cigarettes, but this is a very small room, Malone. You're gonna have to toughen up, Doc, because I got a story to tell you, and it's gonna take at least, I don't know, a couple cigarettes, and by a couple, I mean like as many as I can get in the time I got to tell you the story, Doc. Ready? So here it goes. There's this black bag, right? We're talking about black bags. Back in 1967, do you know I attended Harvard University, Doc? You didn't know that, did you? I would have never fathomed that in my life. Just attend Harvard University. There's no way. Perhaps you were a janitor. Perhaps you scrubs the toilet. Better than that, Doc. I'll tell you something. They did an experiment with this teacher that was there, and they did an innocuous thing. They named it. It was like it was a classroom we went to. I believe it was room 113. Go there, and everybody sits down the first day of class. I walk in wearing nothing but a big black canvas bag over me. Nothing but my bare feet sticking out, Doc. This is not the image I would want in my head then whatsoever. Well, you got it now. So, running along with it, yep, toenail fungus and all, Doc, right there in the university classroom. There I just sat down. I didn't say nothing. I didn't do nothing. And the teacher, he was in on it, okay, but the students don't notice yet. Sitting there wearing my big black bag. Just my feet sticking out, Doc. And you know what their first reaction was, Doc? Hostility, Doc. They didn't like it. Like some guy is sitting in a room wearing a black bag, Doc. Okay? Now, they respond with hostility and mockery. They bullied me, Doc. They shoved me around. They tried to pull my bag off, Doc. I'm very sorry that happened to you, Malone. I'm trying to do something. Listen to me, Doc. You know what happened? You know what happened as time went on, Doc? See, what had happened was they had originally, what they wanted to do was bring me in. I'm going to sit there, and then these kids are going to go off, and they're going to tell all their friends and stuff, and then make a phone call. This is 1968, Doc. There was no social media, okay? So what we're trying to do somewhat here is test out the so-called telephone game, Doc. You familiar with it? Yes, Malone, I'm familiar with all of these psychological things. Good. So you know what I'm talking about. See, good. I love it when I don't have to explain myself to this Doc over here. They're going to play this. They're going to test the telephone game. All they want to know is, what do people go out and say about me sitting there wearing this black bag? But it gets out of control, Doc. I mean, it gets out of control. See, they had their thing happen they didn't plan on. See, the rumor got too big. They went and told everybody to the point where, local and national, even international media was picking up the fact that this guy sitting in a class at Harvard wearing this big black bag with his crusty toenails sticking out, Doc. I am, again, with the imagery that I would prefer you to not tell me about. I do not want to think about these things. You're stuck with me now, Doc, so you're going to have to get used to a lot of things real quick, okay? I know you can do it. Now listen, you know what happened? So as time wore on, I just kept showing up. At first, there was mockery and derision, they're bullying. They was being mean to me, because I'm different, right? Why I wear a bag in there, Doc, okay? But then it turned into, just became normal to them. Oh, yep, there's Bag. Yeah, there's Bag again. Yeah, he showed up again. Here's Bag. Hey, Bag, what's up? Everybody, then they started, they weren't exactly nice to me, but they was tolerating me. It was okay. Left me alone. As they got used to my presence, their apprehension dissipated, Doc. And then so the researchers in charge of this little experiment here, they decided that they had now had an opportunity, Doc, to test a different theory. Now they want to see what's going to happen if we attempt to identify Bagman. They want to see what happens if they try to make me take my bag off. What do you think happened, Doc? I do not want to see you with the bag off. I am assuming you are naked underneath the bag, aren't you? You are naked underneath the bag, aren't you, Malone? I don't know how you would have deduced that, Doc, but yeah, you like I said, you're the brain bender. You'd figure things out. Indeed, it's hot under that bag, Doc. There was no undergarments to be spoke about. But it's not the thing. That's not why, Doc. It's not why they want to take the bag off me. They want to see what would the students do if all of a sudden we try to take Bagman and make him not Bagman. You know what they did? They revolted. They responded with anger. How dare you mess with our Bagman? He might be a Bagman, Doc, but he's our Bagman, Doc. What's just the moral of this story, Malone? I'm glad you asked. Now, they took this research, and with this interesting, way that this experiment went, they had a new insight into human psychology, Doc, which I thought is what you had. But I think you're something else, Doc. Where are you from? I'm from Austria. Yeah, you're going to put shrimp on the barbie, Doc? Not Australia, you imbecile. I said Austria. Okay, easy, Doc. Don't go dropping out of art school too quick there, okay? I know what you are. I've seen you in video games before. Name Wilhelm Strauss mean anything to you, Doc? I've never heard that name in my life. You don't know Castle Wolfenstein from you. You're just gonna claim you don't know what that is, Doc. Anyway, with your turtleneck, do you know what they figured out? Do you know who benefited the most from this research, Doc? Turns out, Doc, that humans prefer what is familiar to them. But at first, when I walked in, just wearing a bag with my toenails sticking out, I was different to them. They said, what is this? That's not like us. So they responded with aggression and fear, uncertainty, mistrust, right, Doc? I mean, what the heck is this guy doing over here wearing a black bag? We got to do something about this. But as time wore on, Doc, I became more familiar to them. It became a sort of, is Bag coming to class today? Oh, he is. People signed up for the class just to see the bag. Became a thing. Eventually, they took me in as one of their own. I was their adopted son. I was just a black bag. They loved me, Doc. You know why? Because I became familiar to them. Because I was no longer shockingly unnormal to them. I was familiar. Do you know who benefited from this research, Doc? I cannot possibly imagine. Please tell me more, Malone. And I'm gonna. Glad you're here, Doc. You're a good listener. I have nothing else. You don't really say too much. You're a funny guy. Big business marketing, advertising firms, they latched on to this. That's why you see things like, especially characters that sell your products. That brawny guy, Mr. Clean, Aunt Jemima, Quaker Oats guy, Burger King, Ronald McDonald. Everybody's got a mascot, right, Doc? They knew. They said if we make them a familiar face in the household, that people will refer it. They would prefer to choose something they know versus something they don't. So you put a friendly face on the product, and people did. People in the second phase of the research, Doc, they chose products they had never used based on how familiar the face on it was. It's a very interesting concept, Doc. forced to admit, Malone, that you are actually somewhat correct in this, in your assessment of how this has gone down. Have you indeed done research? You can read, can't you? I can read, Doc. Like I told you, I attended Harvard. I didn't work there. I mean, I scrubbed the toilets for spare change so I could eat ramen noodles. I mean, the housing there is it's expensive, Doc. A scholarship for criminal justice is, few and far between. But lucky me, the town of Livingston at the time only had me to send to, like, be a cop. We didn't have cops before me. Now we got this Dick Edwards here. Well, he's probably sitting on Grindr right now, probably reaping the profits from the live stream he's streaming right now. He can do what he can do. But without me, he'd be nothing, Doc. But I thought it was interesting, this experiment that was dreamed up. You just walk in wearing a black bag and watch it make everybody pissed off. But then eventually they get used to you being the black bag, and then they don't even hate you anymore, Doc. And I said to myself, Doc, why can't we as a people just do that? Can't we just say, okay, yeah, when you're first presented with something that's outrageous, yeah, you're like, oh, man, I don't want nothing to do with that, Doc. But when you keep being presented with it and something's branded to you and just sold as a familiar face, old this thing, you get more used to it, doesn't you? And it makes me started thinking, is this not only used to sell me products, Doc, but agendas? Sell and push politics, Doc. Got your familiar faces, the devil Doc. Malone, I've never seen you so philosophical before. How long have you been stuck in here? I couldn't tell you. I don't know. I think whenever the last time dipshit there released the live stream, or the last time he illegally recorded us, however he did that, I think he must have tapped somebody's cell phone, or somebody was live streaming, whatever happened. Our constitutional rights were violated there, Doc. But at any rate, it's been a while since I had any talk to people, got to talk to anybody except myself, really, Doc. And I'm pretty used to doing that. I'm actually able to even argue with myself. So you're just sort of schizophrenic is what you're saying. I don't really think I'm schizophrenic, Doc. I think that I have like an intellectual superiority that's disguised as a really gruff personality is what I think. So you have turned to self-diagnosis. What exact books have you been reading, Malone? A lot of psychology. This guy Freud, he's weird. Something with him. He got a thing for his own mother. And I put it down. Smut. 3 pages in. I said, this is pornography. Get this out of here. This guy Bukowski, ever read him? He thinks that, like, he thinks like God's like this asshole, like, and I just plays tricks on people for no reason. He's got a power trip thing going on, Doc. These old philosophers, boy, they all got something to say. These are the people whose life's work I have spent studying, Malone. I am very familiar with most of these theories that you are speaking of. Well, then why don't you tell me something I don't know, Doc? 2 + 2 = 4. Yeah. Anyway, does it? It does, Malone. It does. I'm going to take your word for it because math was never my strong suit. I was more into chasing down perps and, cracking the case, Doc. We did a lot of leg work. We had to, walk the beat. We had to, violate some constitutional rights to get the information we needed to close the case, Doc. So do you think that by, inflicting torture on your detainees that you have achieved reliable knowledge? Well, yeah, I mean, how else are you going to get them to tell you the truth, Doc? You start nipping off fingers, and they tell you what you want to know, am I right? Hey, case closed. Our case shifts over, Doc. I don't got all night. Do you know what they pay me? They don't even pay me. I don't even know if I actually have a job. I probably am still on the payroll, but here I am sitting in this fucking hovel with you, Doc. Who, by the way, you might not have asked for this, but I didn't either, okay? You said you were desperate for human contact. I don't have human contact. Why don't you just stay over there in the corner with human contact, Doc, okay? Human contact, he says. Okay, listen, this is jail, bud. We don't talk about human contact. I'd speak to Mrs. Livingston. Luckily, Livingston man, of all people, has decided to fund my legal defense. But the lawyers don't know what to do because they're hemming on they're hemming up on what charges I'm even supposed to be brought up on. I didn't even do nothing. All I did is go on a couple of live streams. And Edward's got a hard on now. Now I'm in stuck in here, solitary confinement, but +1 Doc Wolfenstein over here. I wish you would stop calling me Dr. Wolfenstein. I wish this guy outside in the landscaping crew would get the hell away from the window. Trying to read in here, bud. Malone, how is it that you have beer and cigarettes in jail? I got good commissary connections there, Doc. I know people, okay? Know a lot of good people. And they, Edwards never puts down that Grinder app. He doesn't pay attention to what goes on around here. He just hits record and then sits there on the Grinder app, swiping left, swiping right, up and down. You know what I'm saying, Doc? He's distracted, let's say. But you know what, Doc? I was also reading about another interesting psychological experiment they used to do to people. So the fun thing about these is they tend to be, this landscaping crew is a little too close for my comfort right now. If I get out of this jail cell, I go out there and tell them, move it along. It's called the Milgram Experiment, Doc. I am intimately familiar with the Milgram Experiment. It's sometimes taught on the first day of class. Yeah, well, that's why you're here, Doc. The first day of class. You're listening to me tell it now. Let me paraphrase for you, Doc. The Milgram Experiment essentially proves that people will do virtually anything an authority figure tells them to do, as long as it seems to be within their own interest. I'm gonna make this real short because I don't want to offend anybody by trying to act like I know more about it than I do. So summary is, they had like a fake like torture chamber, and they had these people pre-recorded. They were actors, right? They were to react to what was about to happen, because in the second part of the facility, they had a control panel. And what they was doing is asking these people questions. And then the participant, the person who does not know this is an experiment, is instructed by a doctor to either shock this person or not. And in almost all the cases, prodded along with the simple coax words of, you have to. They did shock the person. They made it clear in some cases that if you shock the person's gonna die, Doc. But you have to do it. They did it, Doc. So we got 2 lessons here already, Doc. Now I'm starting to put the human condition together. And I think this is why us Livingston men are spirit of you guys. Because you think too much about stuff. You feel too many things about things. And then this guy with the lawnmower outside, I'm gonna choke slam him off the 3rd top rope, Doc. There cannot possibly be that much grass outside the CIA black site. They got landscapers here. We're at Alcatraz. We're at Alligator Alcatraz, aren't we, Doc? It's got to be. They put the migrant prisoners to work mowing the lawn. There's no lawn. They're mowing the swamp. Getting pulled off the tractor by alligators out there. I wish I had a window. It doesn't sound good. Doc, people only like what they know. And people will harm anything as long as some authority tells them to. That's not me trying to be some liberal, some bleeding heart liberal, Doc, talking about, can't we all just get along? This is statistically proven by psychological experiments, Doc. Which brings me to classic literature, Doc. The prison library here is pretty good. Wherever this garage they got us in El Salvador here, this has got a decent reading collection, okay? So I've been reading about, Doc, and they got some things that they've been talking about. And, one of them being, as everybody's read 1984, That gentleman talks about an interesting society where it's all psychological warfare. It's all meant to be lies so that the people don't ever actually know what's going on. They're not meant to. They're constantly knocked off balance. Not allowed to know any truth. There is no truth, Doc. You got books like Fahrenheit 451 where the guys was hired. It was their job to go find old books and burn them, Doc. Why would they burn some books, Malone? Well, I'll tell you. Because old books say something different than the same books, but they're new. They've been censored, rewritten. Perhaps the author's original intent was not politically correct for the day, so they changed what he said. When you find an old book, Doc, that's what the author's intent really was. It's like finding an original copy of a song or an album or something, right, Doc? A real piece of history. I cannot believe that you are acting in this fashion, Malone. Maybe perhaps time in prison has done you well. You seem to be a bit less unhinged. Unhinged to who? You? Oh, Castle Wolfenstein over here? Listen, I seen what makes you cheer, bub. I don't want your booze. This book's like a Brave New World. I read this one to Aldous Huxley. This guy was all about going to the Amazon rainforest and taking drugs and stuff, and then he wrote a book where they found a wild human. They had this super complex society. Everything was run off of air, Doc. Not electricity. Everything was pneumatic, Doc. It's the word of the book, pneumatic. Everything was pneumatic. Instead of saying the word awesome, you'd say pneumatic. They worship Henry Ford in the novel. They cut all the tops off the crosses for the Lord Jesus. They cut the tops off the cross. They said T, and they worshiped that in the name of Ford. They said in the name and the year of our Ford. They called it, Doc. But people will do some weird things, and people will follow some weird beliefs, and people will invent beliefs based on things, Doc. Like, if this guy don't get the fuck away from my house with the lawnmower, I'm going to be forced to bring Edwards into it. And he's a little aggressive with he's been on Grindr too long, and you don't want to piss him off. You make a date with your lawnmower, man. Edwards, do something. You know you're listening. Do something about this guy outside with the lawnmower, bro. He's probably not listening, Malone. He's probably deep in this Grindr swiping. I know, it's all he does, swiping Grindr, left and right, searching for the perfect human to share his life with. It's so quaint. It's so quaint. Hey, Edwards, you find Mr. Right yet? I didn't think so. But I tell you, Doc, you start reading books. You start thinking of things a little differently. You start thinking about society a little differently. And you start reading the scientific papers. All these weird, unethical scientific experiments y'all was doing. I know you were there, Doc. I know you had something to do with it. I'm as old as you, Malone. I did not have anything to do with that. I was there. And if I was there, you was there. Malone, you must have been like 12 years. As a matter of fact, your math does not make sense. You said this experiment at Harvard took place in 1968. You have claimed on past live stream, you were born in 1954. You were 12 years old at Harvard? I was a prodigy, Doc. Operative word being was. I was a gifted child, believe it or not. I got too deep into the alcohol, the cigarettes, the women. I was chasing skirts, Doc. I was frequenting the speakeasies, Doc. They had speakeasies in 1968. Well, more like a hippie communes. I was there, Doc. I was smoking the moon rocks, okay? I was smoking that electric dog shit, reefer, Doc. Stuff you guys don't know about. You study, but you don't actually know. But you should have asked me. I was there. The summer of love, Doc. After the fact, I was already bagged, man. I was famous. How many women was beating down my door, Doc? More than yours. I digress. You start thinking about the human condition, Doc. Maybe it's what you should do. All you do, you docs, You sit there, oh yeah, and you write stuff down, and you little jerk. Look at you writing, you're just jotting stuff down right now. What are you even drawing over there right now? What are you drawing? Pictures of penises, probably. Yeah. Blushing now, aren't you, Doc? I'm not blushing. You're making me angry. Good. Making me angry, Doc. Sitting there, scribbling around your little book. It's annoying, okay? I got this guy outside with the fucking lawnmower. I got him over here with your turtleneck and them stupid glasses, scribbling in your notebook. You're driving me nuts. You know what? At first, I craved human comfort or whatever you called it there. No homo, Doc. But now I'm kind of thinking that this was a bad idea. I can't believe Edwards put you in here with me. Did he think that you were going to perform your therapy on me or something? You were going to get me to open up, start talking a whole lot, maybe even just monologue a whole live stream, Doc? Is that what you thought was going to happen? It seems to be exactly what is happening, Malone. I don't like being manipulated by you and your unethical, researchical probabilities, Doc. I think we got communist synthesizers in the room right now. I think you are. I think you're a communist synthesizer. You mean sympathizer? You know what I meant, and that was the important part, Doc. I don't really care about the semantics of what I said. What do you mean by that, Malone? I meant what I said, Doc. Okay, because now you're just thinking you're going to intellectually mock me, and that's interesting, considering you're the big psychologically evaluated guy, right? Mr. College educated over here, couldn't even stay out of jail. Thought he was going to save Malone. Here he sits. Turtleneck, beady little glasses. You look like every psychologist that anybody ever saw in a movie ever. You look like you're just very, very stereotypical, Doc. Very stereotypical, Doc. Where do you guys go to get the outfit? Who's your tailor? Like, how did you do it? I've bought these clothes from LL Bean. LL Bean? We got a big rich guy over here. How come you ain't made bail yet, Doc? And how come you don't got no commissary? I don't know what the commissary is. It's how you eat in here. You don't get your cup of, you know what a cup of soup is, right, Doc? A cup of soup, yes, I'm familiar. No, a cup of soup. What is that abomination? We tapped it. It's a styrofoam cup, Doc, with like ramen noodles in it, and you hold it under the hot water in the jail cell here, and you get it hot enough, and then you got to let it sit there. You put like your towel on top of it to insulate it, Doc, and it turns into like soup, and you can use this even as currency around here. They'll pay for it. Pay for it with what? More other cup of soups and Dunkin' sticks, and we got you can have Folgers coffee in here, Doc. You can get a jar of pickles if you want. Shampoo, razors. They make you pay for these things? Well, yeah, Doc, it's called paying your debt to society, which means, pay for the stuff, Doc. It's not just given to you. What's about toilet paper? They'll give you as much toilet paper as you want, Doc, but if you abuse the privilege, you start acting the fool with it, you start rolling it up, and try dumping it down to it, trying to circumvent the system. They'll make you go without, Doc. You better not play with it. Edwards boys are a little sadistic, okay? I wouldn't provoke them. Believe me, I know. Malone, you seem to have spent more time in this jail than some of the inmates. I would often come in here to sleep. My wife, God bless her soul, nothing happened to her. She just, annoying. Mrs. Malone is, we get mistaken for brother and sister a lot. It's awkward. So it is what it is. But I would often spend the nights here in the jail because it's quieter than sleeping next to her. She snores a lot. Okay, Doc? All right. I had insomnia because my brain trained itself to know when she was going to start snoring. And it would wake up because you can't get to sleep once that starts happening, Doc. It's like a seismic event. It triggers stations around like the country. They all start drawing out little EKG lines on their seismic reports. That's Miss Malone snoring, okay? When she gets up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, it's like when the T-Rex was coming in that Jurassic Park movie, right? You know what I'm saying? And the water cup was jiggling. Yeah, Mrs. Malone is not an ideal sleeping partner, Doc. Okay, so I don't appreciate you bringing it up. I feel like why are you attacking my wife right now? Malone, I haven't even said anything, and you brought the entire thing to the forefront of the conversation. Now, don't suppose anyone even knew there was a Miss Malone. It's even been debated whether she's Miss Malone or not. Hey, we didn't ask a whole lot of questions, okay? Listen, You get married, and it is what it is. I don't want to get too deep into this with you, Doc. You're still scribbling in your stupid notebook over there. What are you drawing anyway? I bet you he's drawing penises. I know he is. Not drawing penises, you imbecile. Anyway, Doc, you want a beer, or are you going to sit there and be all straight edge about it, huh? I'm not drinking a beer with you, Malone. Not in jail. You're not going anywhere, Doc. What are you going to drive home or something? You're not going. What's the matter? Whatever, Doc. More for me, thanks. Doc, you want to smoke this weed joint I rolled with some toilet paper? I do not want to smoke your weed joint you rolled with toilet paper, Malone. You are disgusting. Well, you should. I rolled one up out of the Bible one time, but then I kind of felt bad about it. I decided perhaps I was blaspheming a little bit. But boy, there's those blank pages. There's always like, why'd they put those there, Doc? Why is there 6 blank rolling paper pages in the Bible, and I'm not supposed to roll up some of the devil's lettuce with it, Doc? Malone, you are the most insane person I have ever in my life been exposed to. I am regretting my foray into the field of psychology immensely at this point. I, honest to God, in the himmel, which I would not hear with you right now, I'm going to pinch myself. I will wake up now. I will wake up now. Doc, you're not sleeping, okay? You're not sleeping. Your problem is, though, you're not awake. You're stuck in your little system. Been trained by them. You are one of them. Playing by their rules, Doc. You don't see outside of the big picture, do you, Doc? You're in your little academic umbrella. Oh, my science, Doc. Hey! You fail to take into consideration the human aspect of it, the personal aspect of it, Doc. You failed at your job, because once you decided you could analyze other people and tell them what's wrong with them and how to fix their life. But when did you do that for yourself ever, Doc? When did you self-analyze? When did you self-diagnose, as you accused me of doing? We are trained not to shy away from self-analysis. And why don't you? Because I don't know what self-analysis you stood in front of the mirror this morning and decided that outfit was what was going to knock him dead today, Doc. What is with them shoes? And why does your turtleneck look... Do you have cats, Doc? You look like fuzzy to me. Like you're just like a walking fucking cat allergy to me, Doc. Like my eyes are red, my nose is right in, and I'm pretty sure... It's because of that turtleneck, Doc. Don't take it off. Don't disturb it. Too much dand is gonna puff off of that thing. Just don't move. Don't just sit there and look weird. It's what you're good at. Thank you. Fuck you, Malone. Right up yours too there, buddy. No homo. Now anyway, Bratwurst-Heider. Hey, perhaps you hit it a little too deep tonight, Doc. Why don't you just take it easy? How about you slip the bratwurst out your ass, and how about you just have a sit here? We're stuck here, Doc. We're not going nowhere. Okay. What, you think you're going to make bail? Nobody knows who you are. Were your Castle Wolfenstein buddies coming for you? You got some underground network, Doc? They're going to come and snatch you up out of here? I bet you don't. Too nerdy. Have connections like that. I know you are. How many beers can you drink? Many as you need me to, Doc. I'm here all day. Did I mention we're in jail because of you? You messed this up. You showed up out of nowhere. You're the one that brought me to that Mike guy's live stream. I don't even know what happened to him. They must have black bagged him. Never heard from him again. You left a trail of chaos in your wake, Doc. It should be you in here. I am in here, you idiot. Case in point. So you are in here. So you must have done it. Because we know, Doc, here in America, you don't get punished unless you did something wrong. Doc, I didn't do anything wrong. I was trying to help a patient. Help a patient. Okay, why don't you just patronize me a little more, Doc? I was trying to help you, Malone. Oh, I didn't need your help, Doc. Okay, I was perfectly fine busting jaywalkers, all right? perfectly happy harassing the general public. Maybe I go out and like smack a baby and kiss an old lady or something, you know, maybe help something around across the crosswalk, you know, just out here. Public relations. Next thing you know, you guys can bring this conspiracy to town. You start showing me these live streams of these Livingston men and building up this thing, and then you're pulling your experiments on me and manipulate me. Now here we're sitting in a prison cell, Doc. And that turtleneck, I'm going to cut it off for you. I can't. But your turtleneck, Doc, it annoys me. That's why I wear it, Malone. It provokes a certain stimulus in you. I'm gonna put a stimulus in you, okay? So let's not talk about things going in me, out of me. None of that. Okay, Doc, the hashtag no homo, okay? Not in my jail cell. You want to go do your weird European stuff, you can go ahead and get transferred across the hall and hang out with the liberals, okay, Doc? They put you in here for a reason. You're trying to get something out of me. I thought you said not to to say things like put it in you and take it out of you. You know what, Doc? You're real smart, ain't you? You're real clever, right? You were waiting for me to say that. You wanted me to trap myself. You wanted to watch me back myself in the corner. Let me tell you something, Doc. Just because I don't want things going into or coming out of me doesn't mean I won't put things into or come out of you, okay? Jailhouse rules, Doc. I was in the cell first. It's mine. Now start mopping the cellar. Make yourself useful for something while I continue to explain to Edwards' anonymous audience that I know he's recording us and he's got this lawnmower outside because he's trying to annoy me. This is psychological torture is what it is. It's a psyop, Doc. You know, it's what it is. He's probably going to start playing sound effects of like a cat puking out of the PA system or something. Right when I fall asleep, like some dripping water is going to happen, something to bother me, so I can't sleep, Doc. So I end up reading all these books. Reading about all these Wikipedia articles, because I'll tell you something about Wikipedia, Doc. Anybody can drop a line in an article in that. And if I'm going to be misinformed, Doc, I want to be misinformed by the people. My misinformation is democratic, Doc. It is by the people, of the people, for the people. I do not want to be misinformed, Doc, by mainstream media. I don't want to be misinformed, Doc, by academic paper scientists. Oh, we know what we're talking about. You know what you're talking about. You know nothing. We had to change the science. It's now understood differently. Well, it's a good thing I threw my entire lot in with what you guys were saying just for you to come out and be like, actually, what we said was asked out wrong and we're sorry, but, you know, here's what we're saying now is true, I promise. This way, we got it right this time. I'm supposed to trust this gaggle of misinformationists, Doc, you and your ilk out here professing to be experts. Because why? Because he was indoctrinated to believe a certain thing that when all of a sudden new evidence presents itself, you just backtrack, stand down, and say, oh, that's how it is now, Doc. You scientific people, you come off as, you won't stand your ground. Just be like, I'm sorry, I was wrong about that. I guess now we have a new understanding of the situation. Doc, what the hell kind of attitude is that? Listen, if I say blow it out your ass and you're like, and you present to me evidence stating that like you should not blow it out your ass, you know what I'm going to tell you, Doc? Blow that evidence out your ass, okay? Give me a hill, Doc, because I'll die on it. I got no time for all this evolution and things are differently understood than they were back in the previous eras. Doc, you science people, you got to make up your mind. You need to start getting some real answers for us because, personally, I'm growing impatient with the idea that you guys can just be wrong and then be like, sorry about that, it's all different, but, actually now we know better now, so this is how it is. And you fail to understand why people would lose faith in your abilities, Doc. What do you even say to that? I say it is like 7:49 p.m. You've been talking for something like 47 minutes straight. And I don't even know where this conversation is at this point, Gott in Himmel. I cannot believe I have been stuck in this place with this man. This cannot be real. Doc, Eddie, I'm right here. Who are you talking to? You was whispering to what, your kneecaps there? Why don't you get up off the floor, Doc? It's okay. Like, there's a whole bunk for you right over there. That's you. That's not the bunk. That's like a pile of, like, your dirty laundry. Best I can offer you, Doc. It's a single cell. I can take my dirty laundry back if you want. You sleep on the floor. I will not be sleeping in your dirty laundry, Malone. Well, and them's the breaks, ain't they, kid? How's that floor feel, Doc? It's very cold and hard. Don't say hard. Don't say things like hard to me, Doc. Okay? No homo. Remember that. Hashtag no homo. I find it's very soft and gentle, Malone. No homo, Doc. How about stop talking? How about you just lay there on the cold floor and look weird? You're the one that keeps talking to me. I have been trying to keep to myself this entire time. I do not want to speak to you. You keep insisting on speaking to me, you imbecile. You keep using that word imbecile a lot, Doc. What does that exactly mean? Is that one of your ancient eugenic terms for the mentally feeble? Is that what you guys used to call them? Yeah, you immoral bastards. Yeah, right. Everybody not as smart as you should be like, put in a home or something, right, Doc? I know how you guys are. I know what you are. You just sit there and look weird, Doc. Don't talk again. You're the one that keeps talking to me. I said don't talk. Weirdo. You weird ass. Homo. Doc, I'm telling you, I'm really glad they give us cigarettes in here because I don't know what else I would have done. I have been I'm quietly working on a Guinness Book of World Records, most cigarettes smoked in prison. I'm pretty close. My health is not good, Doc. My health is not great, okay? It's what I look like, Doc. It's what I look like. Not proud. But I'll tell you something. I'm not wearing no fuzzy cat hair infested turtleneck and some pair of beady glasses with that pointy goatee. Like I said, Doc, you just are the most stereotypical looking psychologist I ever. I'm a psychiatrist. Whatever, Doc. Semantics. You knew what I meant. Again, you know what the problem is, Doc. You learn too many words. Doesn't matter if I use the right word, Doc. It matters if you knew what I meant. Language. English especially. You know what English is? The word entrepreneur and grok are the same thing, Doc. Doesn't matter. Just matters whether they understand what you said. Nobody cares what you actually said as long as they understood what you said, and you might be surprised. I'm one of those gifted individuals, Doc. You ever see these things on Facebook where it's like written with like upside down numbers and letters and stuff? Listen, Doc, I can read those. Oh my goodness, Malone, you must be such an advanced genius. That's what I thought. When they were like only certain people can read this and I could read it, I felt like I was special, that's when I knew my calling. I knew that I had to bring the knowledge to people. I knew that, like, there's some of us that can, and there's some of us that cannot. Okay? I can read the weird upside down letters, numbers, texting, Doc. And they said that makes me special. Those are not peer-reviewed studies. Those are simply like a clickbait things on Facebook to make you think you're better than you really are, Malone. Well, it worked, Doc, and that's all I'm going to give you on that, okay? And I think it works for a lot of other people, too, all right? So I just want to ask you can't read that, can you? I don't even have Facebook. So by default, you can't read it. I guess by that twisted logic, you are correct. I cannot read it because I have not read it, because I do not subscribe to some ridiculous notion of this social media you Americans are so enamored with. Your problem is you have a deep-seated sense of narcissism and vanity. You always want to see the camera pointed at you. You want to see your own face on the screen. You think every reflective surface is a mirror, and you will stand there, and you will pose for it. You will make your faces. You will pout out your duck lips, you will twerk your little arses, and you will do whatever it takes to have the attention be about you through the cameras on your cell phones and the ridiculous, outrageous, and frankly, meaningless things that you broadcast on your social media as if it's a world chasm. You are the ones who are intellectually diabetic. You are anemic when it comes to intelligence, Malone. You're Americans. You think of nothing except yourselves, always. Not only, and you do not think of yourselves as Americans, you think of yourselves as yourselves. You have no concept of actual community. You have no national identity. You are all in single batches, individuals, which is, in the one hand, exceptionally unique and amazing, but you use it for the evil purpose. You use it for self-gratification and self-enrichment. You have been trained to think that you as the individual are the commodity to be sold. You are the product. Why don't you tell us how you really feel, Doc? I think that Edwards knows this. That's why he spends so much time on the grinder. He is too enamored of his own self. He's not actually looking for a dating partner. He's looking for some sort of gratification that tells him that, yes, he is what people want. He does not want other people. He wants to be wanted. And that is the classic American psyche. They want to be wanted. They do not want, but they wish to be desired. I'm going to tell you one more time about this homo shit, okay? With this desire and this, gazing upon yourself and all this. Doc, you got a real European take on everything, don't you? Very interesting, you would say, that we live in, so we out here just living our lives like through the lens of our own cell phone is what you're saying. Indeed, that's exactly what everyone's doing. They have been manipulated into thinking that they must sell themselves. You are whores in a way. That's a strong word, Doc. Yeah, but it's true. You are simply selling yourself, and at the cutthroat rate, I might add, because any platform you do so on will take the majority of the profits and give you what is left. But it is your effort and your work and your body and your mind who has been taxed and labored. Like I said, we got communist synthesizers in here. I just think that perhaps you should take your faces out of your phones and look around at the world itself instead of viewing it through your camera lens. Very interesting, Doc. Put the phone down. He said, listen to this guy. Put the phone down. You know why he said it? Because he didn't have one. He's in jail. So it's real easy for Mr. Stonehenge over here to go all Iron Age on us, Mr. Medieval Carnivore over here. I don't want to do the technology. I don't want to do the technology. You do a terrible impression of me, Malone. You are very bad at it. Who could talk like you, Doc? Okay, you know like all the words. You don't even say it right. You just open your mouth some when you talk, huh, Doc? Ladies and gentlemen, I am going to absolutely beg the warden to turn the broadcasting apparatus off, because until he does, Malone will not allow me to sleep. I'm not going to allow you to sleep whether the broadcasting stuff's on or not, Doc. It doesn't matter whether there's a camera on or not. I'm always like this. And if you had worked your salt as a psycho, whatever you are there, it's the pathological guy, you would have known who you was up against. Where's your profiling skills, Doc? Okay, because I've looked at a perp's case file. I knew what I was dealing with. I knew when I was talking to a meth head. I knew when I was talking to a crackhead. I knew I was seeing a pedophile. I knew when there was grave robbers. But you're in here with me and you're scratching your weird goatee and your bald spot head. You don't know what you're dealing with, Doc. You're not worth your salt. How about you go back to Stuttgart whatever you called it, Strasbourg. Whatever, Doc. I don't speak your pig Latin anyway. But what I think, Doc, is you're not wrong. I think maybe people ought to just enjoy things. Little ones especially. Put the phone down once in a while. You ever been felt like you missed on something there? Maybe somebody said something to you. You didn't even hear what they said. You was totally lost in space. You with the phone in your hand. I said, put it down. Make time for it. Anymore, it seems like the opposite of when we was raised, when we had the Atari or the Nintendo, Doc. You get like an hour of time with that. You were allowed to play that when you were done with everything else. But now, you do everything else when you're done with the phone. Maybe reading some books has done me good, Doc. I feel good about what I was able to accomplish, what I was able to get off my chest to you tonight. For all the hostility and derision I toss at you, Doc. You know, if it's because I like you, right? I thought you said no homo. I didn't say I didn't say homo, Doc. I said I like you. Listen, if I didn't like you, I wouldn't talk to you, okay? Now it works. If I fuck with you, I poke with you a little bit, mess with you, it's because I like you. What do you mean you like me, Malone? Don't put that weird tone of voice on your voice, okay? We're not doing this, like I said, no homo thing. So, at any rate, Doc, just want to tell you, I appreciate you. I love you. You've been a real strong figure in my life. You helped me figure some things out, Doc. Malone, what are you doing? Get away from me. Now I'm gonna cuddle you up right now, Doc. I listen, like I said, I love you. I need human contact right now, Doc. Come here.
The Livingston Man, a hero in disguise. His legacy will echo through the skies. Forever remembered for his deeds so grand. The Livingston Man, the savior of the land. The Livingston Man, a hero in disguise. His legacy will echo through the skies. Forever remembered for his deeds so grand.